What's up, everybody? It's the modern day prophet here to do a video. And this video is going to be called Some Important Tips If You Take Care of an Autistic Person. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. But before I even get to those tips, man, I got to say something about the autistic community in general. Man, this is the most illiterate, ignorant, dumb community I have ever come across. And this is almost why I'm kind of almost fed up with making these videos. In fact, I'm pretty sure this will be my last one. And the only reason I'm even making this video is because I said I would and I do what I say. But after this, I really think I don't think I can take it anymore. I just can't take it. You know, I'm arguing with morons, weirdos every day. I don't think I've come across one person that even understands what autism really is. And and if you're looking to the medical professionals, the doctors, they can't help you because autism is not a medical condition that can be treated. You can't treat it with medicine, you can't treat it with psychology. It's not a medical condition, it's a medical difference. I've explained this in so many of my videos. Autistic brains work differently. Their brains are geared 100% towards logic, which severely impacts their social awareness. So, an autistic person has to be taken care of their entire lives. Somebody has to support autistic people for their whole life. So, I'm gonna tell y'all what's funny. I understand autism on such a spiritual level. Like, I can pretty much tell y'all that thousands of years ago, people understood what autism was. And not only that, I have a feeling that they knew how to utilize autistic people in society. I have this feeling that a lot of the advances that society made, throughout history, thousands and thousands of years ago, were because of autistic people. Like a lot of the times we'll go back like thousands of years ago and be like, how could they have done this? How could they have understood this? They didn't have computers, they didn't have our technology, but they did have autistic people, which were the human computers. And if they knew how to utilize them, that is probably why we can't explain the advancements they made to this day, like the Great Pyramid of Giza, for example. And if there's two countries or two nations that really understood autism and autistic people, I'm going to guess it was Israel and Egypt. Now, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to make this video about that. But I just want to say that we have, or not we, y'all have gotten to the point where y'all are just calling everything autism. Everything is autism now. And the truth is, autism only applies to a very select group of special individuals. Autistic people are probably the most special people in the world. Now, I talk about these superpowered brains and all of that. And the truth is, y'all are probably not even going to recognize that. Y'all don't have a way to recognize that because society no longer has a way to facilitate autistic people in 2025. So you're, you're probably think I'm just making this up, but I'm not. The problem is society no longer understands autism, so we can't use or utilize autistic people to their full potential. Now, in this society, they're marginalized and have a very low lifespan. I'm really saddened by how young a lot of autistic people die. It's really sad. But so that's why I have been trying my best to educate people so that they can understand what autism really is. Autistic people are chosen ones. They have the most powerful brains in the entire world, far superior to anybody else. Now, I'm gonna get off of that, and I'm gonna get to some of these morons, and then I'm gonna get to the things that will help autistic people. But let me say this: autistic people can talk. So if your kid is nonverbal, whatever that stupid means anyway, but if they're nonverbal, they're not autistic. autistic people can talk. Now, I mean, autistic people, autism has no distinguishing features either, which means you can't look at a person and tell that they're autistic. Autistic people look just like everybody else. There is no look for autism. Whereas with other mental challenges, you can see it in people's faces. You can see a lot of the other mental challenges in people's faces. This does not apply to autism. Lastly, these morons are the ones that really get me. All of the people trying to compare autism to ADHD. Now, if there's any medical professionals that have done that, they should have their licenses revoked. A hyperactive disorder has nothing to do with autism. They're not related in any way whatsoever. Neither has anything to do with the other. ADHD is not even a real condition, to be honest. When I was a kid, and if somebody displays symptoms of ADHD, I could tell you two curves that work real quick that will make it disappear real fast: pain and fear. You see, parents can't beat their kids' asses no more, really. So now we have this ADHD problem. But I can tell you, when I was a kid, and teachers used to beat your ass, and parents used to beat your ass, and neighbors used to beat your ass, if you did see ADHD, it didn't last very long. I can promise you that. So I'm not even gonna waste my a bunch of time talking about that nonsense. If anybody is saying ADHD and autism are the same, you're a moron if you listen to them. And if you listen to those types of people, whatever you get, you deserve. I'm telling you, they don't know what they're talking about. So, what are the things that can help autistic people? First off, you have to realize this: an autistic person's brain works differently. And because of that, their world is not your world. They perceive the world totally different than what you perceive the world. And this is something people don't really talk about. But their world is not your world. Because of the way their brain works, their perception and awareness is totally different. And in that sense, the way they're going to see the world is nothing like the way you're going to see the world. And you have to understand that. Because if you try to bring an autistic person into your world, you're gonna face a lot of adversity, a lot of heartache, a lot of it's gonna be tough trying to do that. You have to bring the autistic person and their world into your world. You have to connect their world to your world. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's what really gotta happen. Because let me say this about autistic people. Actually, let me say two things about autistic people you might not be aware of. All autistic people have a photographic memory. All autistic people. They remember everything. Everything. And the other thing, excuse me, is that I done forgot the other thing that fast. The photographic memory and I can't even remember. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But yeah, I can't remember the other thing. That's crazy. All right, anyway. Um but they do have the photographic memories. Every autistic person will, they remember everything. So, like I said, yeah, you have to. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. All autistic people have a frequency. Nature wouldn't have made them the way they are without giving them a frequency. Now, if you can figure out that, the only way you're really gonna figure out that frequency is, like I said, bringing their world into your world. And this is not gonna be easy. It's gonna take a lot of patience and perseverance and a lot of attention and observation. But they do have a frequency, and if you can figure out that frequency, it'll make communication a little easier and understanding a little easier. Now, it's still they're still autistic, and nothing's going to change that. So it's not going to be what we would call normal, or like how it may be with people that are not autistic. but you can make it a little better by, like I said, bringing their world into your world and figuring out that frequency. Now, the second thing, and I'm guessing y'all all know this, but this is really big and really important. And I get a feeling that people don't really pay attention to this the way they should. But all autistic people need a routine. I said how they perceive the world differently. Well, in an autistic person's world, they need to have a routine. That routine is like an anchor for them. It gives them stability. And like say the more complex the routine is, the better it will be for that autistic person, meaning at 8 o'clock we do this, 10 o'clock we do this, 1:30 we do this. Now an autistic person may keep the track of the time all in their head. They may be able to do that. But even if they don't, make sure they got something like a wide cell phone, something where they can look and see the time and they know, okay, it's 1 o'clock. I need to do this. Now, this is the important thing about that. The routine though. You cannot disrupt their routine once it's been established. You cannot disrupt the routine. If you disrupt their routine, I can guarantee your day is going to get a lot worse. Your day is going to get a lot worse because you will be either facing a meltdown or an explosion. See, when an autistic person's routine get disrupted, it's like an alarm goes off inside of them. And when that alarm goes off inside of them, you're going to know it. Like they will flip out and go bonkers if you disrupt that routine. So, in a lot of cases, if your autistic child is flipping out, going crazy, and you can't figure it out, there's a very good chance you are disrupting their perceived routine. Because if you don't create the routine, they're going to create a routine for themselves. Because, like I said, it's their stability. And if you disrupt their perceived routine, you may not even be aware that they consider something part of their routine. But if you disrupt it, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. So make sure that whatever routine you come up with is something that you can maintain daily. That is so important. Having the routine and maintaining the routine. Next, autistic people. And autistic people I'm saying this about need massive amounts of mental stimulation, logical stimulation, memory games, numbers, matching, flashcards, video games. They need stuff to stimulate their minds. And if they don't, that's when you're probably, if you're not giving them the proper mental stimulation, you're probably going to see some weird behaviors because they need that mental stimulation. They need a routine and they need that mental stimulation. Now, I'm going to say this. I think that virtual reality might be the future of being able to better engage with autistic people because with virtual reality, you can create the world. You can create whatever world you want in virtual reality. And if we can create virtual reality worlds that are more compatible with an autistic person's world, it may give us more insight, give us a small window into their world, which will, like I said, improve communication and understanding, you know, between you and an autistic child or person. And one other thing about virtual reality is that when you buy a headset, you can buy two headsets and connect them. So whatever they're doing on their virtual reality set, you can actually see it on your set if you get two sets. Now they're about $500 a piece, so that's about $1,000 investment. But I would definitely look into that. And then, like I said, you're probably gonna have to do some experimentation. They got a lot of different types of programs, and see if any of the programs catch the autistic person's attention. And man, I'm telling you, I really believe that virtual reality is going to be super, super beneficial for autistic people. You know what I'm saying? If, I really believe that. But, yeah, so those are the primary things. The mental, like I said, making sure You realize that their world is not your world, bringing their world into your world, making sure they have a routine that you can maintain daily. You better have a plan B or C if something changes. And lastly, the mental stimulation. It might not seem like it. Like I said, I know y'all probably think I'm crazy because y'all, man, I don't see this in my autistic kid. And I'm talking about people that are truly autistic, not all of this phony fake stuff that we're calling autism. But true autism, yeah, trust me, they need that mental stimulation, powerful mental stimulation. They can handle it. Trust me. Like I said, I think virtual reality is going to be the future as it pertains to being able to better engage with autistic people. And I'm saying engage because the people that take care of autistic people know what I mean when I say that. But anyway, y'all, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video there. If y'all have any questions, any concerns, comments, whatever, by all means, feel free to post them. I can tell y'all, I consider all autistic people my brothers and sisters because their brains are on a completely different level. And my brain is also on a completely different level. I understand so many, man, I can't even begin to tell y'all the things that I really know, but nobody can really understand it. So it's really no point to talk about those things. I do talk about them a lot, but in different settings. But anyway, y'all, thank you for watching the video. I love you all. Peace.